Today, two disciples come up to Jesus and ask him, in a sense, to follow him, to go in his company, to become a true disciple of his. The scribe who says he will follow him wherever he goes, and our Lord says, "The foxes have dens and birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to rest his head." In other words, if you want to follow me, it's not an easy life. It's not a life of comfort and ease and popularity and good things for you. And the second says, "I want to go and bury my father first." In other words, I want to be with my father until he dies, and then bury him and be with my family until my father dies. So not entirely pure motives for wanting to follow Jesus, and Jesus is asking for pure motives to follow Jesus. Jesus was a completely selfless person, totally available to souls, and to be follower of Jesus we must be selfless and totally not selfish. We cannot be selfish to be Christians. Selfishness is completely opposed to a Christian way of life. To be a Christian means to be selfless. And so if we hear ourselves saying me, myself, and I, maybe there's something to think about there. Maybe we're focusing too much on ourselves. We have to be other person oriented to be a Christian, and to be a religious or a priest. So much more cannot be self-centered. I had before I became a friar, I had a co-worker who was interested in religious life, interested in the priesthood, and he went to the vocation director of Boston Diocese and talked about vocation, and the priest asked him why he wanted to become a priest, and he said, "Oh, for all these reasons, for this is good for me, this is, I can do this and that for myself, and I think it's good for me," etc. And the priest said, "Do you listen to yourself? Everything you're saying is about yourself. The priesthood is about other people, serving other people, ministering to others." And so he didn't have a vocation and didn't pursue that. But the Christian life too is about others. To be a Christian, follow Jesus. What did Jesus do? So we can't even be a Christian, so much more to be a priest or a religious, where you're supposed to minister to others. And it's ordained, the sacrament of orders is ordained for others, not primarily for the priest, or secondarily for the priest. Same thing in the married life is ordained for the spouses, for the good of the spouses, but also for the good of the family, good of the children, and the selflessness that is necessary there as well. So we must orient our thinking, our prayers, our thoughts towards our neighbor, towards God, and we have to deny ourselves, as our Lord says. So let's try to be true Christians in that way. And of course, there's more joy in giving than in taking and receiving. So let us seek out that true joy, that pure joy of serving Jesus as a Christian in a selfless way.
Fructum ventris tuum.